Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, we'll be talking about a extremely dangerous storm system that is currently occurring across the United States. This thing has a potential to bring very potent severe weather, and I say potential. At this point, it's already developing and unfolding across the south. The severe weather. I'll be covering that quickly and showing you where the threat next is heading, and what the history of these storms has been. I'll also be going over the the rainy side of this in terms of just the flooding where it may or may not occur, and of course the snowy side, as there is a pretty potent snowy side to this thing. And I might look a little bit past into the long range forecast to show you guys what's coming up in the coming kind of days and weeks. All right, so before we get into this, if you guys are new to this channel, consider checking it out. Consider seeing if you do enjoy this stuff, and if you do, you could like and subscribe, obviously, once you figure out whether or not you like this. And if you have any comments or concerns or questions, leave them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Alright, so first off, let's go to the severe weather potential that is occurring right now across the United States. And you can see that it's mainly across the southern United States. This is what the current National Weather Service Weather Ready Nation map, so all the warnings, advisories, watches, right, that are issued are currently displayed here. And you can see there is a large swath. Anywhere you see that yellow, that is a tornado watch. Right there, you could see anything in that kind of orangish color. It's hard to see because it's also a little bit of brown intermixed there. That's a high wind warning, but there's also a severe thunderstorm warning, mainly along this very powerful line of storms that is occurring across mainly Tennessee, Mississippi, and Louisiana right now, though it is starting to spread into Alabama. And you can see very heavy rainfall with these storms. Obviously very strong winds as well. So Hattiesburg, as I'm recording this video right now at 7:30, you're about to get hit by this. Obviously extremely heavy rain, and you can see right there we do have little hook echoes among these cells, and that's the concern, that there is a tornado threat with this, and there has been already some tornadoes. The thing is with these, so far the history has been that they're very quick. They spin up and then they kind of die down. So there haven't been, at least as of recording this video, to my knowledge, any long-lasting kind of tornadoes that have caused immense amounts of damage or whatnot. It's still early in the night, unfortunately, so we'll have to wait and see how things look like, through the night. So please stay tuned if you live, especially in that red zone, right? So I'll read off some of these cities: Memphis, Baton Rouge, Montgomery, Mobile, Jackson. Obviously, that is the most significant area of risk, and you can see a population of almost 8 million people. But even the enhanced, which is a pretty, again, substantial risk, is including Nashville, New Orleans, Birmingham, Huntsville, and many other cities. So those are some of just the biggest ones. And again, as I mentioned, the tornado threat with this one is concerningly high. You can see it's at that 15%. Again, most likely they won't be massive tornadoes. We haven't seen any yet thus far that have been a super, significant. But again, that is at this point, and what we have seen is quite a bit of wind damage already, and you can see that the 45%, it's very high on the index right there. And Memphis, Jackson, Tuscaloosa, Jackson, Hattiesburg are all cities in that really high risk zone. And the hail is rather small, surprisingly. Actually, you can see right there. So yeah, these tornadoes, because they're developing along this quick line of very strong, obviously rainfall rates and winds, most likely won't be a supercell type events, and it's just along these lines that often these tornadoes do occur. And sometimes there's many of them, sometimes hundreds along the line like this. And again, that doesn't mean that they're all like the big nasty EF5 tornadoes, but just quick spin ups, sometimes just enough to toss a grill in the air, which is wherever that lands obviously could be impactful. But just to show you that, again, not all tornadoes are massive kind of ones that you associate with when you watch like the movies or whatnot. But you can see that the rainy side of this thing is even more obviously widespread. It stretches into Tennessee, Kentucky, where that kind of severe weather threat dwindles away slightly and emerges more into just a kind of a moderate warmish rain, as it is pretty warm across these locations. To note, across southern Canada, there's a lot of ice, a lot of snow occurring. Yesterday, there was a bit of ice across Michigan, and I do know that there were ice storm warnings. I don't know how the current state of events look like there. I don't know if it was devastating or not, but I can imagine, on top of this rain, it's definitely a nasty situation. However, thankfully it's probably melting, as that rain is falling in temperatures that are above 32 degrees. And we're seeing another developing rain kind of, I guess, slug that will be adding on to these areas that have already seen, in many areas, already 1 inch of rain plus. So once the severe weather threat again goes away, which by the way, if you are on YouTube and you watch my channel, I'm sure you're aware of Ryan Hall's channel. He does a very full, comprehensive live stream every time there's a severe weather event. And right now I'm recording this, he's live streaming, and I'm pretty sure he will be late into the night. So obviously that is something I highly recommend anyone that's on here would check out. I'm sure that many of you already are probably watching it and have been watching it, as it's really, he does an amazing job. So I'll put the link in the channel description below if you guys want to check it out. And do note that for the rest of the night, right, we obviously have this severe weather threat. This is at 8 a.m., the HER model. Pretty good model. I like it for short-term events, kind of like this one, which is, already occurring and will be occurring for the next few hours. Notice that these storms don't really weaken in terms of their rainfall rates and their speed. They're racing through a lot of the south, and, well, the tornado threat will die down as the night kind of wears on. Notice that the heavy rain threat continues spreading eastward. Again, this won't be a flooding rain because pretty much you get hit by it and then you're out of it, but definitely a quick inch of rain will fall, so just because of how fast and suddenly this rain is falling, you may get a bit of a flooding. But notice well into 1 a.m., 2 a.m., these storms are strong, so you may wake up in some of these areas, especially across eastern Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia, in the middle of the night, and wonder what's that noise, and it's probably just rain slamming into your windows and whatnot, hopefully nothing more. And do note that this line, it does spread into tomorrow across these areas, not as cohesive, not as well aligned, but it does continue marching in through Georgia, South Carolina, and kind of North Carolina as the day wears on. And there are going to be little bands of re-strengthening along this large cold front, and where that will be is right here. As I click on tomorrow, you can see mainly across the mid-Atlantic, kind of the DC area, right? Maryland, portions of eastern Virginia, northern North Carolina, into portions of eastern Pennsylvania, western New Jersey, so right there. And of course across the southeast, there's another small little segment right there. Again, not too high, right? I mean, compared to today, this is way less significant. The tornado threat, pretty abysmal, but again, it's a tornado threat, so you got to take any threat from a tornado seriously. The wind threat is definitely the highest, and then a hail threat, again, relatively low, most likely non-damaging even if it does occur. The rainfall from this whole system, when it's all said and done, including the north, you could see it's pretty significant. So if you've seen already, 1 to 2 inches, I know my area has gotten a lot already, and we're expecting another 1 inch. That could be quite a bit. And even across the south, quick 1 to 2 inches from those storms is possible. Now let me go back and show you what the future radar looks like, but now focusing further towards the north. So do notice that this thing continues spreading towards the north. The precipitation, the warm air, and obviously that line of thunderstorms is making the biggest headlines. But up to the north, we also have quite a bit of ice, snow, into especially Canada. A lot of rain. You can see that's what I'm talking about when I mentioned this new redeveloping slug of moisture right here into Missouri. It's there are some nasty showers in there. Nothing really too incredible, but they're slow moving, so they could cause some ponding on roads. And do note that this thing, the HER model, this model is underestimating this thing's development, which already at this point, which is 7 p.m., it's already well more developed than what it shows at 8, 9, or even 10. But do note that there's going to be a bit of snow that develops, so cities like Des Moines, you could see some actually accumulating snow into tonight, maybe even 1 inch or 2 if this thing does set up as this model forecasts it to. Notice rain continuing into many of these locations here, with snow as well spreading out. There could be up to 2 to 5 inches in some of these areas. Whether or not the snow spreads into, say, cities like Chicago, it's tough to say, but northern Illinois, you definitely will be seeing some snowflakes. The Quad Cities, Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay, and into portions of western Michigan, also seeing a bit of snow. And then in terms of snowfall accumulations, when this thing is all said and done, you can see again, especially across Iowa, there could be even some amounts, again, 3 to 5 inches. And I'm surprised they didn't issue a winter weather advisory here, but they did issue one here. And again, I do think that there could be some snow into Iowa. That does occur at some higher rates than what the National Weather Service currently shows. But again, I'm just here to show the National Weather Service info, not really to contradict it. I'm just saying, just be aware that if you live across Iowa, you may get some snow showers there and some accumulating light snow. This is another model that shows the evolution of this system, and you can see this is by 11 p.m. We see a really robust development of snow across Iowa. I think this is a bit overperformed, but do note that shows that nasty line as well, that redevelopment of that second kind of base of rain, and it does show that snow as well, just probably a bit overdone. But regardless, even if it does occur, it's out of here by tomorrow, and in the afternoon, it's done. This system's out of here, and it's over. But in its wake, now it kind of brings me to my next point, there will be quite a bit of a chilly air. Now, let me show you a global model. So this is what the GFS shows. Again, the nasty line of storms, severe weather, light rain, moderate rain, wherever you live, right? I mean, it goes from anywhere from a tornado threat to a snow threat. Again, GFS shows that snow across Des Moines, spreading into Illinois, Wisconsin, into Michigan, and then it's, again, out of here with those storms occurring across the Northeast Thursday, but again, nothing too severe. And that's what the GFS shows. I was going to go forward, but let me just show you the other models as well. This is the Canadian. Again, they all show this system pretty much by tomorrow out of here. Just some lingering showers across the Midwest, and of course, that cold front still pulling through the Northeast, but on Friday, everyone's done pretty much with the system, other than some showers, which are going to be minimal, and also a little bit of chillier. But do note that going back now to the GFS, we do have another system moving in on Saturday for a good portion of the Midwest. This will bring some snow, nothing extreme, but definitely could be a bit surprising, as sometimes these little pockets of cold air are stubborn and could produce a bit more snow than expected. But you could see some light to moderate rain through the Midwest and into the Northeast, nothing too incredible. But again, some chilly air, definitely spreading into some of these areas. And looking forward, for any big events, nothing in particular. There's a little bit of a clipper right there across North Dakota. Into next week, Tuesday, there's definitely is another storm threat right here, which is going to be significant. Not as big in terms of the size of the storm, but for the severe weather, it could be also a very nasty, powerful event. So this is definitely something that could probably, maybe even equal today's event. So definitely watch out for that. Emerges with a kind of a system from the northwest. Again, this is still far out, so what this does exactly is still interesting, but you could see a lot of dancing around, slow moving system, some snow, rain. So an active pattern does continue to next week. And then we do see a really nice cool plunge of air, but it seems after this final one, which is going to be occurring midweek next week, some warmer air comes in, but the active pattern continues. It's just that it's a bit further north with the severe weather maybe, and with the storms, and maybe even some beneficial rain into California, which would be very nice. But just to show you that, the GFS, the past few model runs has been kind of all over the place. Relatively consistent, but, in the long range, it's hard to be consistent, and it's been consistent in the short range. But you can see, again, there's our little Saturday system, right? That little snow pocket, little rain event there across Dakotas. There's that little clipper that kind of draws up some moisture from the south. Again, that potential severe weather event. The GFS has been showing that for a few days now. And you can see that goes up the northeast coast, combines with the system kind of across the west. Maybe some snow, pretty far south. Nothing huge, but definitely some snow showers, chilly weather. This GFS model run from today in the noon showed a more significant system across the northeast coast. But after that, it did show you could see kind of a flattening of the pattern and more precip moving in towards the west, so that would be good. But a bit more stubborn with that cold air you could see from this model run compared to the most recent one, which showed that warm air pushing into the northeast around the week of the Monday of April 11th and 12th of Tuesday, being a bit more widespread than what this model shows. But it does seem like a above average pattern could be setting up as we push into kind of the mid half of April, or really after the first 10 days. But a thing that I do think is going to be coming true, and hopefully, is more active precip for the west. How much, it's hard to tell, but you can see that almost all models and all model runs from each model shows quite a bit of rain right there for the Sierra, and quite a bit of snow. This is the 12 one. This is the most recent one. You can see it's been consistent. 6 o'clock one. Again, there's some variations, right? This one showed a little bit of a later event, but it does seem pretty optimistic for that. So that is that. The Canadian model, in terms of its forecast, you can see it only goes out to 240 hours, so not as far out, so it does include that active pattern across the west, but it does show that nasty storm that could be occurring next week, and it does show a pretty nasty potential severe weather threat across the south. And though the dynamics may be a bit not as well put together as with this system, we'll have to wait and see. We could see a weird, slow spinning away kind of system from the Canadian as well. From the European, very similar as well. You could see that. Let's go back now. This is Tuesday, Wednesday, so it doesn't show as much of a severe weather event, though it definitely does show activity. It does show a system with a little bit of cool air being drawn behind it as well. So all models are showing that. And yeah, that's that's basically it for today's video. I just wanted to give you a brief rundown of what's going on currently. Again, this thing is the main headline right now. Obviously, we'll focus on that storm, the next week one, once it does come. But you can see a lot of these cities, especially large areas like Hattiesburg or large metros, are under this severe weather threat, and this thing will continue for throughout most of the night. So that is definitely something that's going to be really of concern. And you can see this is what the situation currently looks like in the north, and in the south is obviously where those nasty lines are occurring of storms, or just main line, just one. You can see right now it's moving into Hattiesburg, but notice how there's a lot of them have these little hooks. It's not like a consistent line like it was more over here. It's starting to become more, I guess, full of hooks, little notches, and that's where it becomes a bit more risky and a bit more dangerous. So, and also don't be surprised if you do see some showers like this developing out ahead of it. That could produce definitely a few rumbles of thunder. So yeah, that's basically it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay safe, stay tuned to the local National Weather Service. If you live across the south and you're dealing with the severe weather threat, Ryan Hall, again, as I mentioned, does a very good job, comprehensive stream. So check out his channel. And that's basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all on the next episode. See ya. Bye.